taken from us too soon. Legends never die. Kobe and Gianna, may you rest in peace. Men of Reddit, when was the last time you've cried and why? Yesterday. Grief. Wife died 8 months ago. She was the love of my life and my best friend. Sorry to hear this, buddy. I've been in your spot. Believe me, it gets better eventually. Don't let anyone tell you how or when to heal. Just do it in your own way. But make sure you are headed toward healing. Losing my wife taught me that life is short and there are things to enjoy and appreciate all around us. Woke up at 4 AM after dreaming my dad told me he has days to live. Then realized he is actually dead. I have those dreams about my nan and my granddad. They suck so bad. The realization when you wake is just such a gut punch. It really is. I was wailing. Haven't cried that hard in a very long time. I'm so sorry. It sucks so badly. I know how you feel. About a month ago I had a series of those kinds of dreams and woke up screaming and sobbing. My neighbor, bless his soul, actually came to knock and see if I was okay. In a way it was mortifying, but in another way just telling someone about it seemed to ease it off. I hope yours calmed down. Walking into rehab when almost no one knew I was going. 60 days later I'm sober as hell and going to be a sober dad. I felt this one. Only some of my family knew. I just disappeared from work. Don't even recall how that part was arranged. Congratulations on 60 days. That's a big deal. This internet stranger is super proud of you. Thanks, buddy. It was really hard, but the best thing to ever happen to me. Rehab kicked the crap out of me, but I got my life back. I flew to Seattle, and it was done. My friend and gym partner killed himself on November 5th, and I didn't know for a whole week. I was texting him daily things like, hey man, where are you at? Are we lifting today? Did I do something wrong? Why aren't you replying? Hey man, if you don't respond to this message I'm calling the police for a welfare check. And then a friend found the GoFundMe on Facebook. I cried so hard and loud that I heard my roommate approach my door to knock. He heard me through the door and did a quick about face to retreat back to his room. Today someone approached me in the gym saying, hey man, do you know what happened to Run? He was in my class and just stopped showing up one day last semester, and I went full deer in the headlights before straightforwardly answering he killed himself, then returning to my workout to avoid the emotions and awkwardness. I started drinking at 8 AM today, so I got that going for me. Hey guys, I appreciate the concern and I assure you I anything but an alcoholic. Just had a moment of shock. I'm going to take a nap, take the dog for a long walk, then get back to it as I usually do. Once again I appreciate those who reached out, but I'm going to be fine. About 5 minutes ago, one of my nephews is currently in surgery for something his doctors have never seen in a kid his age before. I just got news from my sister that best case scenario has happened and they were able to take care of things. He should be out of the or in half the time as was expected. So yeah, crying in relief at my desk at work. Going up to see him in a couple days. It's hard to explain what it means to have kids like him in your life. Last week at our first ultrasound, wife and I have had 2 miscarriages, and we had an appointment and saw the heartbeat. This little peanut has stuck around the longest so far. Fingers crossed. May the pregnancy be smooth, healthy, and uneventful. Uneventful. Baby comes out cool, I guess. I was tucking in my 7-year-old daughter a couple of months ago, and she told me that she was worried about me dying before her. I'm only 42 and healthy. So I had a conversation about how old I'm likely to live, and that she will be an adult when I die. Then she said, but when you do die, will you help me? Because I need you so much. And I lost it. Now I'm crying. This last weekend, after a night of drinks, a very good friend of mine and I were ending the night at her apartment. We had been chatting for a bit when at one point, she redirected the conversation and began to beam about how she's proud of the man I've become. She talked about my character, how I treat people, and my habits. She told me there are things I do that she admires, things that I've been doing for years, and that I thought no one noticed. It was a very tender moment and I couldn't help tearing up. I've never had a friend or loved one, other than a relative, say such beautiful things about me. Bless her soul. I don't know what I would do without her. To say that she's an amazing person wouldn't be enough. I cried last night. About 2 years ago my dad received a Parkinson's diagnosis and he is not responding well to treatment and doesn't take care of himself. I started writing about him, what our relationship was, and what it could have been, and sobbed a lot. I can't say I've cried recently, but I write every day, been doing it for years, and I have to say, it's the single most meditative process I do. It's almost pharmaceutically therapeutic to write things down and reflect on the words instead of abstract ideas in your head. Granted, I've never gone what you're going through, but writing daily has certainly helped me get through issues and problems, and it's even shed light, sometimes, giving me answers. Writing distills, crystallizes, and clarifies thought and helps break the whole into parts. It takes practice, but I'd recommend it to everyone. Hell, even some of the most badass men in history had diaries. Theodore Roosevelt, Shackleton, Moo, etc. It was over the weekend. I was reaching out to a few different friends to see what they're up to, but everyone else had pre-existing plans. It hit me hard when I realized that I'm always making an effort to reach out, but I don't get the same in return. I do a lot of the work, and when I try to make plans, there's always something that comes up, or they're too busy. Started to happen to me over the last 3 months. Now I'm just trying to be happy with myself and learn to be more lonely because I still can't understand what is going on. I always gave my best to make my friends enjoy being with me and make them happy, but I guess they just don't care about me. Month ago, was yelling at my kids because they were misbehaving, and I put them to bed early. Broke down afterwards and cried on the stairs. Knew I didn't have to yell as much and said some unnecessary things. Wife talked with me on the stairs and it turned into a turning point in my life, and I'm doing much better with the discipline. Edit. Holy crap, haven't checked since I got off work and this blew up. Never hit my kids and hopefully never will. Immediately after the talk with the wife I went and apologized. When my father was so grumpy he kept on shouting at my mom that she ran out of the house with her keys. I joined her a little later outside and sat with her till she went home, and then went to my GF and cried on her shoulders. Hope you are doing better, man. Yeah, my dad finally after years of this kind of behavior saw that this wasn't right and went to the company doctor. He is a teacher. He has been at home for being overstressed for a couple months now, while I held my 4-year-old daughter in my arms and realized there was nothing that I could do to save her from dying from mitochondrial disease. I don't think I had ever cried so hard before, or since 7 years later it still haunts me, but time does make it less painful. That helplessness, the anger cry combined with the grief cry combined with the hopeless cry and the loss of the future you wanted cry. I know that cry too. It's a deep well in the heart. I'm so sorry about your daughter. When my GF broke up with me through a phone call after 6 years. Just cold and _T hold it together. Edit. Thanks for all the kind words and such. It _S been a few weeks and I feel a bit better by now. We also met up and talked about it a bit. The sadness and frustration's still there, but she found the guts to talk to me about it personally, and I appreciate that. Says she wanna stay friends and all that stuff, but whatever, no idea how that _S supposed to work out. Definitely can _T just pretend nothing happened lol. I am in the process of moving out and had quite the crappy day, so thanks again. Really appreciate. Hope stuff gets better for all of you commenting that you experienced the same. Didn't realize I cared so much about Cope until I stayed leaky-eyed for 20 minutes watching the coverage Sunday. They replayed his 60-point game last night on ESPN. And I bawled my eyes out when it showed him winking at his family and smirking as he walks off the court for the final time. Yup, and all the times they showed his little girls having a great time on the sideline. My daughter was born the start of last year. Think I must have cried for a solid hour. Get ready, man. I teared up last year when my son was born. Not a full-on cry, but unexpected emotions. Last night I was feeding my now 10-month-old, and he was in turn feeding my old Doberman, and it just hit me like a wave. Everything was perfect in that moment. My wife started crying because she had never seen me cry. Then my kid started laughing hysterically, and my dog barked so loud that he forced a fart out. A perfect moment. Pure unbridled joy. I'm so happy for you all.